Today we're going to be looking at the NanoVNA-F V2. This is an offering from Aursinc, who has a store on Amazon. They sent this to me to review. We're going to be going over the differences between it and the other NanoVNA that I already had and what the specific features are on this NanoVNA. Stick with us to the end and see what we can learn. Okay, this is NanoVNA-F V2. We've got it currently set up to show SWR, resistance, and we also have the Smith chart. This particular NanoVNA version, F V2, has a 4.3 inch diagonal LCD, where the other NanoVNA H4 has a 3.8 inch diagonal, so this has a little bit larger screen. So what we have here is NanoVNA-F V2 Vector Network Analyzer. It has the two ports just like any other NanoVNA. You got port 1 where you get your S11 readings, and port 2 where you get your S21 readings. This is the transmit port and this is the receive port, but the port 1 can also read reflections or reflectivity off of that one port. Let's go over what comes with this. It comes with two cables like this one here. Go ahead and get this down. It comes with these two cables to connect your device under test, the DUT. It also comes with a calibration pack where you've got your open, short, and your load, and that load is a 50 ohm load. It comes with a double male connector. It comes with a double female connector, which I have here, and it has a right angle connector as well, male to female, if you need to come off of it at a 90-degree angle or off your device under test, depending on which end of the cable you put it on. It doesn't come with any manuals. I don't believe any of these do, but the manuals are available online as a PDF. You can download them and go through them. Also comes with a USB-C cable. Can be used as a charging cable or data cable. You can access the NanoVNA with NanoVNA Saver software or any other software that knows how to communicate with this device. There's several different ones out there. And that's what comes in the package. As you can see, I've already been in it. I've been playing with it, testing it, and getting familiar with it. It's a little different due to the way it's built and the navigation. This is an aluminum case. So this is much more rigid, stronger than the plastic cases on some of the other NanoVNAs. And this one doesn't have any switches or controls on the top. They're on the side. And if you remember the other NanoVNA that I've used in several of my videos, it has a rocker on-off switch and a rocker switch up here that controls it. On this NanoVNA, it has three buttons on the side. It's got an up, it's got a select and a down button, has a power indication button, and this USB port here is kind of interesting. This has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery in it. So this can be used to power another device or to charge your phone, maybe. It's 1 amp output, and it's on a 5,000 milliamp battery, so that's not too shabby. The 5,000 milliamp battery powering the device is rated to run the device for 7 hours. That's what it's rated at. I haven't tested that, so it's going to be close to that. You got your on-off switch here, and then it's got the Type-C USB connection here. This is to charge the device and also for your software interface with your laptop or your computer. That's where the data cable connects. You got your two ports. You got your transmit or your S1, port 1, and your receive on port 2. On the back, it has more information about the different ways it can be connected. This one is made by SysJoint. SysJoint developed this based on a couple of other NanoVNAs that are out there. They are recognized as being a authorized manufacturer for these devices. This is not a clone per se. This is their version. It's a NanoVNA-F V2. Other than that, it works very similarly to the other NanoVNA. This particular one, like I say, is got a 4.3 inch LED, got the 5,000 milliamp hour battery for a 7-hour battery life running the device. It is a touch screen. It has the 3 navigation buttons on the side. The firmware is upgradable. I downloaded the newest version of the firmware off of the SysJoint site. Applied it very easily. When you plug this into your PC or laptop, this becomes just like a USB port. It identifies as a drive letter. You download the binary file to your computer, and all you do is copy it to the NanoVNA. Once it's copied to the NanoVNA, you turn off the power, you turn it back on, it loads the new firmware. You can't get much easier than that. Like I say, it does have the USB-C interface, and it has a 50 dB dynamic range on S1, and it has a 70 dB dynamic range on S2 when you're taking measurements there. The sweep points on this one is a little different. On the NanoVNA H4 that I have, it can have up to 401 sweep points. And what is a sweep point? Whatever frequency range you have selected here, when you're taking measurements, it'll divide that frequency range up into the number of sweep points. So this one, default, comes as a 101 sweep points. You can change it anywhere between 101 and 201 sweep points. I currently have mine configured at 201 sweep points, and it takes a little longer to sweep. If I recall correctly, it's 2.7 seconds to sweep that range. Regardless what the frequency range is, it takes 2.7 seconds because it's the same number of points. Now this particular unit, one of the pluses is it can sweep anywhere between 50 kilohertz and 3 gigahertz. So that is the frequency range that this particular one can sweep. You can have up to 4 different traces on screen at one time. You can have up to 4 markers. These cables that come with it are RG405. Now what I noticed about these particular cables is that they're a little stiffer. They don't, you bend them, they stay bent. They don't put any pressure. They're not exerting any pressure to any device under test or whatever. You bend them, they stay bent. That can be a plus. They're a little more rigid, but these are RG405 cables. They're high quality cables. This also has a 2 amp fast charging chip. It doesn't take long to charge the battery here if you have a good wall wart, so that's going to be a fast charge. This also can act as a signal generator, and the RF out, the maximum RF out in the HF range, which most of us will be using, is a negative 10 dBm. So that is adjustable, and the signal generator can generate between 50 kilohertz and 4.4 gigahertz. Now, up in the higher frequency ranges, the output level changes some. It can go up to a negative 9 dBm is the maximum output level. And we'll get into the navigation on this a little bit. I found some things I like. I found some things that I don't like, and I'm going to share that with you. Let's go ahead and reconnect the cable. I calibrated the unit with the cable, and you can tell it's calibrated because right here, you see that capital C? That capital C, it says it's calibrated, and right now, if you see the 0 right there, it means I'm using a memory position 0. I loaded the calibration from memory position 0, and the OSLT means it's calibrated for open, short, load, and through, using the calibration devices that they sent with it. We'll go over the screen a little bit more here. As you can see right here, the start frequency is 1 megahertz. The stop frequency is 30 megahertz. I've got 3 different traces currently on the screen. I'm measuring SWR, I'm measuring resistance, and I've got the Smith chart on there. Just to clear things up a little bit, Smith chart is sometimes a little hard to understand when you're first getting started. Right now, let's turn it off. So we'll just tap on the screen, and this is where I was last. Let's go back to the, this is the main menu, okay? And what we want to do is we want to work with the display. We want to work with a trace. And the trace we want to turn off, you notice they're color-coded. Well, the Smith chart, as it says here, is green. So let's click on that, turn it off. It's gone. And that defaulted now. The active trace is the yellow one, which is I've selected as SWR. It doesn't have to be SWR. You can make any color trace, whatever measurement you want it to be. Okay, it's configurable. This is just how I got mine configured. Yours doesn't have to be exactly like this. But I've got the SWR turned on trace 0. I've got the resistance turned on, and that's the wrong. I want resistance on S11, not S21. And that brings up a point. I'm going to go ahead and connect my antenna here. This antenna I'm connecting should be interesting. This antenna is a 40-meter delta loop. This is my main antenna at my QTH. And right now, you see, it's got all these different readings here. The dips, especially these down here, are where the antenna is resonant. Okay? And you see our little marker here. You can have up to 4 markers displayed. I currently just have the one. But there's 2 different ways to move this marker. And I'm going to point out one of my annoyances, you might say, with this unit. As long as the marker is down in here and it's not being superimposed or in the same location as any text or numbers, you can pretty easily just click on it and drag it to the next point you want it to go to. Okay, you see it moving there. And you see the marker for the resistance moving simultaneously along with it. That's marker 1. Okay. That works pretty good as long as you're away from the edges and away from any text. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's put it up here. The other way you can move it is with the navigation buttons here on the side. You got your down button here, you got your up button here. So up, the top button, up button, would move you up in frequency. The down button would move you down in frequency. Okay, so let's hit the down button, and you notice the marker has pretty much disappeared up here in this text. And that's okay as long as you're using the buttons. But if you try to drag that, if I click on it, look what happens. The menu comes up over here. I thought I was doing something wrong at first, but this seems to be the case regardless if you're up here or let's get rid of the menu. Let's move it down here. I'm going to drag it all the way down there. So I drug it down to a low point there. But anytime I touch it, when it's down there, I get this keyboard entry basically, where it's coming up. It's thinking I want to change the start frequency, and that's not what I'm trying to do. That's okay as long as you understand what's going on. But, you know, I scratched my head on this for a while when I was testing this out, thinking I was doing something wrong. But it's just that depending on what's on the screen and where the marker is in relationship to that, it has trouble selecting the marker when it's near other elements. If it's just out on the line in the middle of the chart, not a problem. But if it's near another element, you know, if it's text up here, or even, I think it was even happening. See, notice I could grab it then. I went above it a little bit in order to grab it. Look here. Oh, it went back to that. If I'm super careful and go just above it, it'll grab it. But if I click right on it, there's the menu again. So go a little bit above it, and sometimes I can grab it like that. But now you see the marker for the SWR is up here in this text. Again, I try to click on it. It let me do it then. Okay. But look now, as I drag it up here, I'm going to drag it up where the S11 label is. Now if I try to click on it and drag it, it changes it to S21. You got to be aware of that. This is both a good thing, and in my opinion, it could be a confusing thing, because you can inadvertently change what your display is showing by clicking on these. It's good if the marker's not there and you want to change it, but if your marker's there and all you want to do is select the marker, you could inadvertently change your input. So I click on it again. So what do you do when the marker is being superimposed by something else or near another element? You go to your buttons for navigation. So if I want to go up in frequency, I click the top button, and there it comes down like that. And now it's here. Let's click it and drag it. I'm going to put it up there so you can see where it is. There's a neat feature. It's called search. Okay, let's go back and go to marker. Let's select marker, and you've got a select, and we've only got one marker, so that marker is going to be active by default. I've only got one marker on the screen. You can add other markers, you can turn them all off, and so forth. Let's go back. Let's go to search. This can help you out a little bit. If I want to find the next lowest dip here to the left, I can click on minimum. So we're scanning for the next lowest value. And I can do a search left or I can do a search right. Let's do a search left. And here it is here. It had gone all the way to the right. But every time you click it, it finds the next lowest point from where you are. It finds the dip and centers on that. So here we are, 21.3 megahertz. Well, let's go to the left again. The next one, even though it's a minor dip, and you may ask, well, why is it doing on SWR and not on resistance? Remember what we saw earlier. The SWR marker is active. That's the one is active. Okay. So let's go again. Sometimes it takes a second. It can take up to 2.7 seconds, I believe, because it probably has to rescan in the background. You don't see it doing it, but it's probably waiting on the next scan to come across. All right, so even though this is not a very low dip, it is still a dip. So let's do it one more time to the left. And there it is there. And you notice that for marker 1, and it's kind of overwritten by that trace, but that's indicating marker 1, at 7.235 megahertz, it's got a SWR of 1.2, and it has a resistance of 41.6 approximately. It's varying a little bit. This is an antenna. It's outside. The wind is blowing. Things change. You know, the antenna moves a little bit in the wind, whatever. It'll change, so don't panic. Okay, so let's turn that off. Now, as far as calibration, setting up this unit, it's very much like any other NanoVNA. I'll go through a recalibration just to show you the process. Again, always use a cable. Always have a cable on here. It makes it easier to connect to a device under test, and it allows for the length of cable. Here's one instance where the cable being rigid comes into being a little handy. I can bend it where you can see what I'm doing. Right now there's nothing on it, okay? And since we're already at 1 to 30, I'm going to recalibrate it for 1 to 30. I've got the 3 calibration standards that they shipped with the unit. This is the open. It doesn't have a pin in the center of it. See, that's just blank right there. There's no pin, so there's nothing connecting the pin to the shield. That's an open. So I'm going to put that on. Just screw it on. Okay, we've got our open connected. Let's tap, get the menu, go to calibration, go to calibrate, and we've got 4 different calibration steps here. So we click on open. We've already got open connected. We've already got our frequency selected, which is the first thing you need to do. That's the first step. Select the frequency that you want to calibrate for. Put your calibration standard on. Click open. It does open calibrate. And now you may see down at the bottom here, there's the O. So it's calibrated for the open. So we take off the open. I didn't mean to unscrew the double female, but that happens sometimes. Put it back in. And this is the short. You see it has that pin there in the center. And that connects directly the pin to the shield, the center conductor to the shield. And you can see those traces pop up as I'm connecting and disconnecting these different calibration devices. So let's go to short, click on it. It's performing the short calibrate. Okay, so we're calibrated for short. You can see the S down here that it's calibrated for short now. So go to the load, put the load on. Let's click load. It's performing the load calibrate, and it's complete, and you can see the L down here. Now the next calibration is the through, and that's where you would do that. I do it for every band that I've got stored here. I never know what I'm going to be testing next. But what it does, like if you've got a filter or a choke or whatever, and you want to test it, you'd send a signal out through the device under test back into it. That's the through. So what we're doing is it's calibrating for these cables, and any device would put under test, we would insert it right here. So let's click on through, and we've got all 4 of them are checked. All 4 of them says they're calibrated right here, but it's not saved anywhere. If we were to turn it off right now without saving it, that calibration would be gone. So we want to save it. So where I've got 1 to 30 saved right now is in position 0. And you say, well, why does that make any difference? Position 0 is what's going to come up when you power the unit on. So what I would recommend doing is putting your most used calibration in position 0. I work primarily between 40 meters and 10 meters. You may work 160, 80, 60, 30, all those different bands. Well, you've got 7 storage positions here that you can save a calibration into. My position 0 is 1 to 30. That gets the entire HF band. And that's what I like to have there. So I'm going to say save it there. So the calibration is saved now. And we can turn it off, turn it back on, and that calibration is going to be there. Let's go to a single band. I'm going to do a recall. So I'm going to recall a different calibration. Right now, as you can see, it's defaulted to location 0 because we just powered on. So let's go to recall 2, which is 14 megahertz, 20 meter band that we've got saved, and recall that. It gets rid of a lot of that noise because, you know, this thing is scanning this little cable, short as it is, acts like an antenna. So it's picking up noise and static, so forth, across the bands. I'm going to go ahead and reconnect it to the antenna. So now I'm connected to my 40 meter delta loop. And we see here, we're at the low end of the 20 meter band. Here's the high end of the 20 meter band. And I say, you know, I primarily operate voice. I don't work in CW. You can change what your start and stop frequencies are. They don't have to be aligned specifically to the band. You can put it, you know, 500 kc either side, 100 kc either side of the band, whatever you want to do. This is just how I do mine. Do yours the way you want to. There's not one single way to set it up, because once you select your frequencies to calibrate, hey, you can save that and use it again and again. All right. You can see the SWR is extremely low. This is 1. This is 2. It's hugging the 1 line. You know, we're at the lowest frequency here that I've got selected. We're at 1.17. That's extremely good. Up here, it's not much difference. Let's see if I can drag it across here. No, that's the thing. That's an annoyance. Easily overcome by going to the buttons. Okay, just hold the button down. It shoots across there. All right, now I'm up at 14.35 megahertz, 1.16. This antenna, you know, is pretty good. But let's go back, recall 1 to 30. And it takes like 2.7 seconds to do the entire scan across the band, 201 points. How do you change the number of sweep points? Right now we're at 201. Say I wanted to speed it up. Only use 101 sweep points. Now remember what you're doing you're changing or you're swapping speed for detail. If you take a specific frequency range and only divide it up into 101 points rather than 201 points, you've got half the amount of resolution or detail. So which do you prefer? Do you want a faster scan? And the way you can overcome that is you can narrow the band that you're scanning. It's up to you. If you want more resolution, you want more points that are scanning, change it to 201. So let's go into config and look at the sweep points. But according to the documentation, the range is between 101 and 201. Okay, so let's go 101, click OK. We notice right here it's now 101. And let's do a little test. Let's go back, go to marker, do search minimum, and search let's do search left. All right, you see the marker move. Do another search left, and it's again moved to the low point. That's 7.090 megahertz. Now let's go back and go to config again and go to sweep points. Go to 201. Okay, now we're back at 201. Let's and we're still at 7.090 megahertz. Let's do a scan or search now. Go back to marker, search minimum, and search right. Oh, look what changed. Nothing but the sweep points changed. With 201 points, and again, remember we're doing from 1 to 30 megahertz. 1 to 30 megahertz. With 201 points, it found the lowest SWR at 7.235. When we were doing 101 points, the lowest point it found was at 7.090. So for more resolution, you can change the number of points. Other thing you can do is you can narrow frequency range that you're scanning. Up to you. It's a trade-off. You know, this is not meant to be an exhaustive demonstration or a test. These devices are very flexible, they're very powerful, and they're very reasonably priced for what they do. This particular unit is in a very sturdy aluminum case. It's got some features, you know, battery power, power another device, charge your phone or whatever off of this, use this as a battery pack in an emergency situation, or if you're out in the field, your phone is getting low, you've got a charge here, hey, plug your cable in here. It has the buttons. They work very well. It's not the same as the rocker switch. It's just a matter of preference. They work equally well. You got your charging and data cable. This is a very good unit. I compared the readings between the two units, and never did I see more than just maybe a few hundredths difference in my readings, you know, across the band. I measured two different antennas between 40 meter band and the 10 meter band for both of them. It's very consistent. You know, this will go up to 3 gigahertz. I don't have anything that works in that frequency range. Maybe you do. but everything else has been spot on. I think these are good units. You got your nice little case that everything goes in to store it in, to keep track of all the little bits and pieces, so you're less likely to lose it. Put them all back in. But here, you keep it organized, keep your cables in here. And it's protected and ready to go. And you know where all your connectors are. Good little device. I'll have a link down in the description. If you're interested in one of these, you can order it through the Amazon store. If you do order it through the Amazon store, I will get a small percentage, but it doesn't change the price you pay. You pay the same price regardless. Thanks for watching. Hope this has been helpful. I think you'll find one of these useful if you're building antennas, chokes, matching coils, whatever. These are indispensable. I use mine all the time. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, give me a thumbs up. Give me that like down there. Leave a comment, ask a question, throw a little support, buy me a coffee. There's a link down in the description there where you can buy a coffee, contribute to supporting the channel so we can do more of these videos. Thanks for watching. This is Jerry, Kilo Mike 4, Zulu Kilo Bravo. Hope you have a blessed day.